Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and your money. Listen, y'all, it's Friday. You know what day it is, and we make sure that we have Blackout Fridays as we're entering into this holiday season. We want to make sure that we spend our money in places that respect our money, small business, people that look like us. We want to make sure that we support all of those. So please participate in that. But today, I tied that in first because this here is related. Today, we're actually talking about something that every American can relate to. That moment when payday hits and within hours, the money is already gone. A new survey shows that people are spending 1/3 of their paycheck in 12 hours and almost half within 48 hours. Not because they want to, but because the cost of living makes it impossible to wait. Millennials and Gen Z feel the pressure the most. Rent, car payments, insurance, groceries, personal debt, overdue bills hit so fast that people don't even get a chance to breathe. So today we are asking the real questions. Why are we all broke by day one and almost all completely broke by day two? What does this say about the economy? And what can we do to protect ourselves in a system that seems designed to keep us stressed out? Today, I have a full royal court of queens. I am so tickled to be surrounded by them. We have Mary Dean Esquire at the wallstreetlawyer.com. We have Minister Connie, entrepreneur, real estate investor, and author. We have Yolanda Spivey, insurance broker to the stars. We have Micah, the creator, owner, and trainer of herpayday.com. And you have little old me, Lala Keys, singing international real estate agent. Listen, ladies, I know we've all been there at some point. We may not be there now, but at some point when you're first starting out, maybe when you're young in between jobs, it gets a little rough. Now, we know that the economy is absolutely crazy. But has there been a point in your life where you have definitely lived paycheck to paycheck and struggled with after getting paid, not having enough to get to the next payday? I'm going to start with you, Yolanda. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
The gremlins.
I was just telling a friend the other day that there was a point where I was in my apartment. I was living alone. I was like 19 years old and I was so hungry. I had just paid the rent, all my bills. I had no more money left for food. And I was embarrassed to go, like my young ass was so embarrassed to go stand on the food line just to get like a plate of food or to go to a food pantry to get a box of food. So I remember being in my apartment. I was so hungry, y'all. My friend from upstairs, she knocked on my door and said, Spivey, I have an extra pork roast. You want it? And I said, hell yeah. And I took that pork roast and I ate it. And let me tell y'all know that I don't eat meat. Okay. I don't eat meat. But I ate that pork roast. It was the best freaking meal I've had. Okay. Even to this day, it was so good because I just remember being so hungry and not wanting my pride, not wanting to ask anybody for anything. So yes, I've been there, done that many a times.
It's interesting that you say that because, when you're at that point, no matter what it is, if something you say you would never eat, if you are hungry, you will eat it. Now, when my husband and I first started out, he was coming straight out of Howard University. We both were struggling, getting into jobs and getting settled. Baby, there were many days we split a package of ramen and noodles and was happy about it. Of course, God provided; He always provides. And, I was happy to sometimes we even thought it was a treat to split a McDonald's hamburger at one time. So this is not something that's uncommon. However, I do believe we are seeing more and more of it, especially since we have an administration that doesn't care if you eat or not. So, Minister Connie, has there ever been a point in your life where you have struggled with food, paycheck to paycheck, just barely making it?
Yes,
Okay.
so many times. Um, it's unbelievable how a point in your life that you go hungry. I remember just like my queen just said, got paid my rent and only had $50 left over after I paid my bills. But, I learned a better system now. So, yeah, much better system. Yeah. And it's rough when you go to bed hungry, wake up hungry, and then have to go to work and act like everything is okay. It's not good.
Mhm, mhm.
Mhm.
It's appearances that can also be very harming. We know that. I know that from living in LA. You have a lot of people pull up in all these big rented cars, and you pull up to their home, you would think that they own that home, and literally there was 12 people living in that home. So, appearances can be very deceiving with people. Micah, have you ever been in that situation?
In my adult life, I absolutely have. Typically what happens is that when you start renting an apartment, the landlord is supposed to check that the monthly rent is only one third of your income. But if you stay in it for so long and your income doesn't change, but the rent continues to increase and increase and increase, and so do your other expenses, it can definitely dip into your normal livelihood. So yes.
Yes, it can. And, whew, all right. My Mary, Mary Sunshine. Mary, Mary Sunshine. Have you ever been in that position before?
Well, it everybody to me goes through up and down. I hate this question, okay? You already know I hate this question because everybody has, and I'm not above having to struggle. And I remember I was homeless at one point. Um, some your struggle ain't like somebody else struggle, and I don't go through it like everybody else. For me, I was homeless right before I found my. Well, okay, I was kind of homeless by choice because I was living in New York, and I was refusing to move back to Brooklyn. I had just branded myself as the Wall Street lawyer. I'm the Wall Street lawyer. He ain't bring me all this way to take me back, so I didn't want to go back to Brooklyn. But my spot in the financial district would not renew my lease at the time. And so I was just looking, I was like, well, I just throw all my stuff in storage because I didn't know where else to go until I figured it out. And so, I'm looking around, and then literally, I crashed on the couch for about a month, and then I found my apartment on Wall Street. And so I'm just an optimist. And so here's my question to that: when you say, well, have you ever lived paycheck to paycheck or client to client? I've done it, been there, done that. But what does scripture say? Give us this day our daily bread. And so, sometimes we get worried and we move into the spirit of anxiety and anxiousness because we're looking too far ahead. But if you got today's bills covered and what more do you want? So.
Well, my purpose for asking that question is to also bring up the point of gratitude. We are in a month of gratitude as we enter into Thanksgiving next week. At some point, we forget those down points and we just move on, and we just act like it never happened. But see, you have to be grateful for the moment that you are in right now. You might have been hungry last month, but today you're being fed. So as we enter into that gratitude, I think that this topic that we're talking about today is something that we do have to focus on as well as acknowledge the problem that is out there. I would love to hear some of our families' opinions and what some of your stories are. Have you ever struggled Are you struggling now? Are you finding this economy is pretty hard to get through? And actually share some things in the comments that you are doing to help you get over some of this hardness that's going on right now. We're going to watch a video and then we'll be right back.
New study reveals young adults in the U.S. spend over 30% of their paycheck in the first 12 hours and nearly half of their paychecks within 48 hours. Unfortunately, I believe this, but unfortunately as well, I don't believe that it's every individual's fault. This economy is really, really bad right now. But I do want to ask though, how many of you guys actually plan your income? Like, you know where every single dollar is going before you get your check, before you even get your direct deposit. And I ask that because although the economy is bad, inflation is up, and jobs aren't really keeping up with that, a lot of people don't tell their money where to go, so they always ask where it went. Planning your income has been a game changer for me. Even when I didn't have a lot of money left over from my check, I knew where everything was going before I even got it, and that allowed me to make better decisions. A lot of us, we get our money, we maybe pay the bills first, we may go out to eat first, but we're going to go and enjoy ourselves, and then come Sunday night, evenings, Monday morning, Tuesday for sure, we go back and look like, dang, we ain't got enough money for this, we ain't got enough money for that. But if you planned your income, you would have known, it would have told you exactly how much money you had to do whatever you wanted to do. And sometimes it tells you not to do it. If you only got $147 till you get paid again, you should have went outside this weekend and spent $50 at X, Y, and Z. And so I don't believe this study is due to people being irresponsible, but I do want to encourage people to start planning their income, seeing where your money is actually going, telling it where to go so you don't have to ask where it went, and just kind of be more in control and be more in the know and not be caught by surprise when you ended up shorter than, what you expected.
I can't disagree with him. I mean, I think it's really, really important for us to understand where our money is going and have a written plan with that. It's different than just having it in your head. You really need to put pen to paper sometimes so that you can see what's important and what needs to be paid first so that you can really get a handle on what's coming in and what's going out. I'm speaking from experience, especially when it comes into real estate. People don't realize just how much that weekly, daily, sometimes twice a day Starbucks bill is compared to what is going, as much as going out. Those Starbucks drinks anywhere from $5 to $10, depending on what you are actually bringing in. That could be pretty expensive. But Yolanda, do you really feel that money feels like it's disappearing faster than it used to? I mean, I'm 55. I feel like my dollar stretched a little bit longer than now.
Yeah, and me being 49, my dollar stretched a lot longer back in 1996 than it does today. I remember my rent was only like $600 at one point. In today's rent, it's like triple, double, quadruple that. But I wanted to say something. There's a lot of factors in this. Corporations are so freaking greedy right now. And they are not raising people's salaries, but they certainly are raising that rent. Micah made a good point about how they're raising the rent. Your salary is stagnant, okay, and then your other bills is being raised too. So you're not able to catch up. You're just not able to catch up. And then on top of that, we have a culture of social media where everybody wants. They feel like they can just get whatever they see other influences, whatever other influences have, they think they can have that too. And so a lot of the kids are not being educated. That's another thing, education. Back in my day, they used to have like accounting classes in high school. They don't have any type of financial literacy classes in schools anymore. So children are growing out of they're coming out of high school and they thinking, oh, we can just spend willy-nilly style, like tossing it up. No, you guys have to budget. We need to force the public schools to have the kids budget, or some type of financial literacy class needs to be taught to these children because they're upside down. They are upside down. I feel sad. I feel sorry for them.
I think a lot of things should be put back in school. Home economics, for one, is one that you should
Oh
always
yeah.
have. I mean, for young men and young ladies.
Oh
Listen,
yeah.
Deborah says fasting and praying has been my saving grace during the season of life. And Dennis says, I'm working on eating to live instead of living to eat. A conscious
Right.
consumption is a wonderful shift of view during trials and tribulations. Shanera, if I hope I pronounced that right. If I did not, please don't blame the heart. I totally agree with him. She was talking about the video that we saw. Deborah said, remaining grateful to be in my right mind as a grandmother. Mary McCoy would say, yes, yes. My mother used to say that as well, because that is a big thing, y'all, being in your right mind. You don't really quite understand that until you get older. But that is such a blessing in itself. Deborah says, with the internet, you can make everything at home. And then Deborah also says our elected officials are horrible as well. They make a 6-figure salary and don't think raising the hourly wages are necessary. And Armando says, mic drop. I'm with him on that. We're going to take a quick break and we'll get back into this conversation.
It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
No.
People are like, oh my God, the tariffs. We're destroying our planet literally because we have too much shit. Just because it exists doesn't mean we need to buy it. It's not even about the tariffs. You don't need 16 water bottles of the same size in multiple colors.
Left pocket full of pink fizzies, right pocket got blues in it.
We don't need that. This is the universe's way of saying, y'all got too much shit. Stop buying so many damn things. You don't need that. Get it out your cart. There is a dis-ease within this nation, and it is called overconsumption. You got too much shit. How many water bottles you got? How many? Go count. Go see. There was a time when you had one pair of shoes, one pair of pants, one nice jacket, one over jacket, one scarf, one hat. You had a watch, you had maybe some jewelry, and it was real. It wasn't fake. That was it. And we were content. Now, granted, the tariffs suck. Taxes suck. None of us want to pay taxes. Clearly, we would not be so impacted by this if we didn't have so much shit. If you have clutter, you have too much shit. It's not a judgment. Most of us have succumbed to it, particularly in America, because apparently we are the richest country in the world, so we got a whole lot of shit. But before we go crazy over the tariffs and start a whole ass war, maybe what we can do on an individual level is stop buying so much. Marketing geniuses have put you in the mood to spend money by putting buy now buttons on websites and sending you emails to remind you, hey, you forgot something in your cart. I didn't forget. I left it because I realized I don't need that. So stop bothering me. The ads that are everywhere in between the show, after the movie, before the movie. We have been programmed to consume and to buy things that we do not need. Put it back. Put it down. No, you already have one of those. It works just fine. No, I don't care if there's a new one that came out. You don't need it. If there was a fire, a natural disaster, or the aliens were coming, what are you taking with you? Are you taking the 11.5 water bottles that you have? Or are you taking the pictures from your child's first birthday? Are you taking the 63 pairs of leggings that you have? Or are you taking the diamond ring that you inherited from your grandmother? We're gonna have to spend money on the things that we're buying that we really don't need in the first place. We don't need them in the first place. It's time for us to really check in and slow down and say, whoa, 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 whoa. Do I really need this? Or do I just want it?
I need it. Okay, I'm just playing.
I don't know why my button's not working. But you're right, Yolanda. that we're programmed that way. Okay. Like now, even when you're scrolling on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and any of the platforms, they literally stop you and say ad break. And then they continue to do that. You only get to look at 2 or 3 posts before you're into another ad. You are the target. But Minister Connie, I want to know, because she's talking about this consumerism and we're talking about millennials and Gen Z struggling. Do you think this is a part of this extra consumerism that we're doing is why they're struggling more? And let's really be honest about it.
Yes, I think we're spending a whole lot. And I just said that to myself. I got so much stuff. I need to give some clothes away, shoes. It's sad, but I'm about 500 pairs of shoes, you know, and sometimes I forget the shoes that I have and go and buy another pair exactly like them. So it is bad because we we buy too much. But I think that when you get to a certain level of being comfortable and have a little bit of extra money, I think you kind of splurge a little bit on yourself and say, I need this, or I deserve this. And really, you really don't. You're just buying things and talking yourself into things you don't need.
I have to say that, I'm always back and forth between Portugal and the United States. When I say I am flying, I made a joke about it. I said, hey, I'm flying into the Twilight Zone, where life is a lot simpler in
It is.
Portugal than it is in America. The Portuguese people live simply, they enjoy life. They enjoy their culture. They spend quality time with their children. You don't see kids rolling around in Portugal with cell phones in their hands at the age of 6 months. These kids play on the playground to like 14, 15 years old. So there is a difference. And I think that America has a serious problem with wanting to fit in, wanting to be the influencer, wanting this, wanting that so much that they just feel like they're entitled to doing that. But Micah, I want to ask you this, because it is also tied into mental health, right? Do you feel that financial stress really affects your mental health, especially when we are trying to be that influencer?
Absolutely. Although I don't know that the issue is that everyone is trying to be the influencer, as it is sometimes like you just might be trying to relieve your stress, right? Um, Out here, I know a lot of people that work 2 jobs. That means that the brain is working 2 times as hard, which means it's going to need more food. It doesn't have time to, shop or cook. So they're door dashing, right? Which is 5 times the normal time of your grocery store meal. You have that. Then they're going out and buying stress relieving items, lavender, candles, incense, you know, you name it. What alcohol can they get their hands on? Like I stress myself out all week. I need to go club. That's another, $200. So it could even just be things like that. And it's easy to just run up a bill. And of course, if you're doing all that too, you do have times where you feel like, hey, I need to have something special for myself, because I did all this work. So if this thing costs, $50 to $200, I'm going to spend the money on it because I deserve to be rewarded. I mean, it's just life. So
It is life, and I think it's all about balance. But I think where we come out of balance is when so many things that are normal, just even a bottle of lotion. Not I'm not even talking about let me treat myself to a smell good piece of lotion. When regular things like that are 3 times higher than what they used to be, that paycheck is not going as far as it used to when we're not even getting the raises. Now, Mary, I'm going to ask you this because I don't want to focus really, really all on, how bad it is. I mean, people will see, and you're my sunshine. So listen, how can people organize bills so that payday doesn't always feel like it's so overwhelming? What are some tips that you have for people? Can't hear you.
Okay, there we go. Every time I go to Home Goods, I always ask the people in front of me in line, what do you have in your basket that you can't live without of but don't really need? What is
That's
it
a good question.
that you can't live without of? This is where you come to get stuff that you just can't live without, but you know you don't need it, you know. And so I think that as I've matured, I've learned balance, right? I put myself on a budget when I want to go to my favorite store and get my little clothes and like to go shopping. I like to dress myself up and make myself look pretty and dainty because I have to be strong everywhere else. So, you know, but I had to put myself on a budget. You don't went here, you done spent this money. Don't you come back in the store in the next 3 months. That should take you through the next cycle. That should take you, these what you got in your closet should mix and match and take you to the next season. You don't need nothing else. And so I think it's been doing that. I try to think about what shoes I have at home before while I'm looking for shoes in the store, because you will buy the same stuff over and over and over again. You wasting your money. And so I really like that video with the guy where he talked about financial planning and budgeting, because even though the entrepreneur in me hates the word budget, because I feel like you go and create more. I don't want to hold myself back, but financial planning and financial mapping is responsible behavior. And so your bank account will tell you if you got some extra money to buy that wig or not. Okay. Your bank account gonna tell you them shoes is nice, but why you even in this store? Your bank account will tell you that. And so you just need to listen. And then the other thing, when you talk about optimism, when I got my first 6 figures that I made as a baby lawyer, I was working at a nonprofit company. They said, we're going to pay you 50, but we can't give you no 6 figures. So you want the rest, you can start another business on the side. And so I have always had a business and a job. I just did. And jobs did come and go. They didn't want to pay me what I was worth. And eventually I just didn't need them anymore. And so you can never, don't limit yourself. You always want to, and the best time, in all honesty, the best time to create another business is while you're fully employed, because businesses cost money in the beginning. And you don't need to also have your nervous system in fear and overdrive while you're trying to build some money on the side. And as our ancestors have always told us, it take money to make money. So if you got some money coming in consistently, you dabble, which you got more hours when you get off work. You got time when you on your weekends and things like that. So if you ain't got children and a husband at home or a wife at home, then that's exactly what you need to be doing. You need a baby business and you need to nurture it, because one day it will grow up and take care of you.
I always tell people, listen, even as a kid, I've learned that I could go to the little pharmacy store down the street in their candy aisle, buy candy, sell it at school, and come back with 4 times as much as I paid for it. There are ways around it. Somebody wants you to teach them how to make that brownie. Hint, hint, hint. You should put together a class about that. That's just a small time of your day to get that little hustle going. Dr. Vibe said something very interesting. He said consumerism. The first 3 letters are con. Enough said. Double A says so many places are much simpler than America. When I lived in Japan, I never had any worries. Listen, it is also a mind frame. Now you're talking about, go ahead, Mary.
Well, I was going to say that too. Mind frame. You took the words right out of my mouth. I guess I was trying to take them out of yours. But mind frame, just because I live in America does not mean that I don't go to the park and touch grass. That don't mean that I don't listen to a waterfall or go swimming or go ride to Galveston or Surfside or even go sit by the pool or go sit by a little lake. That doesn't mean that I can't live a simple life. You don't have to be in the fray. You don't have to buy every commercialized item. You don't have to follow the hype. You don't have to always have the newest iPhone. You can live a simple life wherever you are. It is a mindset shift.
But that ego that people have, they have this ego. They need the new iPhone. They need this. They need that. They need to be, up on the latest thing. That's what.
So then you take responsibility for your prison cell.
Exactly. You know what? You're right. It's a prison cell. And one thing they don't understand is that these corporations are putting them back in slavery or keeping them in slavery with stuff.
Yeah, stuff. I can't tell you how many houses I've been to where they can't even sell it because they've got to get rid of so much stuff. We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back.
I You're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
Well, that's what we do. I mean, honestly, I know we have that for you, but are you taking advantage of that? I'm gonna let that sink in for a few minutes because there are actually ways that you can grow your money, and we are helping you to do that. And that is a smart thing to invest in yourself with Fly Nubian Money. Now, we talked about consumerism, and we talked about how, it seems like every time the new iPhone comes out, then everyone must drop what they're doing right now to go get the new iPhone. I'm still working on iPhone 11. I'm perfectly fine with my iPhone right now. But Yolanda, do you feel like this is one of the reasons that young adults, the Gen Z, are struggling because they're putting their priorities in the wrong place?
Yes and no. So for some of them, yes, they are putting their priorities in the wrong place. But then again, no, I just really think that it's just corporate greed. Okay. Corporations are building a prison for these young people. They want them to be so they want their frequency so down that they don't think about anything else but paying bills. And that's sad. There was a time when I was younger where I was able to pay bills on $5.05 an hour. And I was able to still go to a movie. A freaking movie ticket these days is like $30 for one ticket. That's freaking insane. They are making it where people just can't enjoy life, enjoy the pleasures of life. So yes and no. Yes and no. It's a double-edged sword. Yes and no. So
It is a double-edged sword. But I'm gonna ask you next, Minister Connie. With this double-edged sword, we know that things are going up in price. We already know this. However, people are not getting paid more. So how much of this is also the responsibility of these corporations and these jobs not paying people? When we actually had a president that came on the TV the other day and told McDonald's not to raise their minimum wages. This is a conflict of interest in the cost of living. So, do you think that corporations need to have more responsibility on paying people properly?
Well, I would say the bigger corporations, yes. I have a company. Well, yeah, and the thing is, in Pennsylvania, our minimum wage is 7.25. So, and some of the McDonald's are paying 15, $16. And the thing is that most of our income comes from Medicaid. And yeah, we're not working with a whole lot of money. I do miracles with the money that I get in every month. I'm telling you, doing FICA, unemployment, workers' comp, what else? Just on and on and on. Taxes, those quarterly taxes kicks my butt every quarter, and it's hard. But the thing is that um, every month I sit down, I make a budget for my business and myself. Even though we make quite a bit of money on paper, but when you go to pay those bills and all the things that you do, I end up in the red every year. every year I'm in the red because all these things that is happening. In Pennsylvania, we are a state of nonprofits. And most of the companies here are the burdens on them smaller companies. And the bigger companies have lawyers to know how to write off tax exempt things. So it's really, really, it gets really hard. But in my book, Lord, I Hear You, there is a system that I learned many, many years ago, and it has helped me. First, I tithe, I sow, I save, and I spend. My spending is paying my mortgage, my utilities, and all those other things. But I do pay myself before anybody gets paid. I put something away. I try to do 10% most of the time, 20 or 30. It all depends on that month. But yes, I still do pay myself first before anybody else get paid.
I think that's smart advice. It really is. We do have some stats. Oh, I'm sorry, Yolanda. You have something to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Minister Connie is so correct, because as a business owner, we do have so many taxes and expenses and things like that. Then on top of that, we have to pay a living wage to people here in the United States. That is really, really tough. That, I just want to say, that is really, really tough. You are spent, and normally at the end of the year, you are in the red. That's it. That's
And here
it.
we are at the end of the year. And then at the end of the year, we also have all of the holidays that we have blown into a lot of consumerism as well.
Mhm.
Listen, the average American spends over 1/3 of their paycheck in the first 12 hours. 12. 48% of their paycheck is gone within 2 days, 48 hours. Only 28% save money immediately after being paid. And most early spending is on essentials like your groceries, your rent, utilities, and overdue bills. That says a lot. Micah, listen, I'm going to hit you because you know what? You've got her payday, right? That's the name of your company. So what helps you feel more in control on your paydays? We understand that you are a business owner, but you still have to structure payments. So what helps you feel a little more in control of your paydays?
Yeah, honestly, for me, it's mindset. And this is the thing that I constantly talk to everyone about. Okay. You're going to have to make a couple of decisions. Because I've made these same decisions. One, if you're looking around you and you notice that what's going on is a scam for your life on every front, you literally have to wake up and decide that you are not going to be scammed anymore. Look at the scams that you are participating in regularly. Make those hard decisions. If you are realizing like, hey, I'm a victim of some of these situations, you're going to have to wake up and make the decision that you are no longer going to be a victim, right? You're going to probably have to do some super uncomfortable things. I remember when I was younger and I lived in LA, I had some family from Louisiana travel over and just kind of check on us and whatnot. We hadn't seen them in decades. And typically it was the normal thing for everyone to complain about the rising cost back then of gas, rent, eggs, milk. So I sat around in the family house and I complained about it too. And I remember my relatives looked at me and they said, you know what? When costs go up, we go up too. I never saw those people again, and they were my cousins, but I never forgot that. And when things go up, you do not sit around and complain about the fact that it is going up. You do something about it. I know that I have to leave these answers short, so I'm not going to leave a TED talk today. But if we come back around to this topic, I mean, that's just what it comes down to. Like, you cannot make excuses. You have to change. You have to change your mind, and you have to change your strategy for yourself, because nobody's coming to save you.
No,
I
and there's
agree,
so
girl.
many
I
resources
agree.
out there. So many ways to do that as well. There's so many free resources that are out there just to help you to get on your feet. You just have to seek within yourself which one fits you and which one that you would enjoy, because there's money in things that you enjoy. Listen, let me tell you something. When I was going through a rough time in Denver, Colorado, and I was in between before I got in real estate, I was in between. Did I want to go back to the 9 to 5 or did I want to go into real estate? What I did is I took my joy of singing. I created an hour worth of video of songs from the 40s, 50s, 60s. I took myself straight to the nursing homes and I sang those songs to those who enjoyed those. Not only did I earn a little money, I also spread the joy and love to the people who felt like nobody comes to see me, nobody listens to my life, and they would wheel them in with their heads down, just not even together. By the end of that set, they was tapping their feet, telling stories, and had a really good time. So you can tap into what you love to earn some money, and there is nothing wrong with that. Mary, so how can we create financial routines that reduce stress? Because along with money problems, you have stress.
Oh, I love this question and I love the routine. I love the word routine. Why do I love this word routine? Because I hate the word routine. So I love the word routine. Okay. Because because it's when you think about it's discipline. There's the magic. There's no real magic out there and have abracadabra, but it is. But the real magic is in your discipline, and it's what you discipline from your mind to your body to your output. Everything is going to boil down to discipline. And so one of the things when you talk about first things first, like when I wrote my book, I broke it up in 3 parts. And the first third of the book is about the laws of the universe, right? The law of attraction, the law of give and take, the law of giving and receiving, the law of karma, the laws that are immutable, like the law of gravity. So when you know that the law of attraction talks about energy, and in order to manifest you have to be in that vibration. So a routine that I actually have is I go on YouTube. I take this little phone that got me hypnotized. If I'm gonna be in the cell we gonna be in is gonna be bringing me some money. And so I like to listen to YouTube meditations. Abraham and Esther Hicks does these rampages that when you listen to them and you stream that energy, all of a sudden hope starts filling in my heart and ideas start running through my brain. And so I found that just listening to someone stream, everything is coming, money is coming, I am beautiful, I am successful, things are, I try to listen to that so that I can hypnotize my mind to see the opportunities, to see the blessings, to relax. Because the truth is, if God is providing the way for me, I have to be in the energy of the blessing received. I have to be in the energy of the bills paid. I have to be in the energy of the surplus and the overflow, despite what's going on. And so that's the first routine. I am routinely inputting information that is uplifting, inspirational, and where the money resides. Okay.
I
The
love
Can I
that.
say something real quick? That
Yes.
was spot on. I love that.
Yeah.
Every morning, I frame my day by saying, when I wake up, I give thanks to the Lord for waking me up. I give thanks to Him for everything. I also speak to myself. I say it while I'm in bed. When I open my eyes, I tell myself that all is well. I tell myself that all things works for my good. That's Romans 8:28. So all things work for my good. I
Yeah.
tell myself that I am loved because I know God loves me. So these are the things I say to myself. And you have to feed yourself, repeating, saying the things, listening, but also repeating those things to yourself because faith comes by hearing and hearing the word of God. So the Lord says that we speak structure. Our words that we speak is like speaking like God. We're small gods because we're made in His image. So when we speak over ourselves, we're changing the environment, we're changing our life. So all those that are listening, speak over yourself every day. Frame your day before you hit the floor. Frame your day. But I just wanted to say that, going off of what you said, Mary.
Yes,
Loved
so
Yep.
it.
Definitely.
And I love that because it's not just some things, but it's all things. Even when you say the rising prices, maybe the rising prices is gonna put the fire under your feet for you to become who you were supposed to be all along.
that's so
Right?
true. Yeah,
Mhm.
The
that is so
other
And you know
true.
what? I say this
That's
to myself.
true.
I don't live in this economy. Where I come from, I'm rich and I'm healthy. I'm under the heavenly economy, because there is no there is no there is no poverty in heaven. There is no sickness in heaven. So therefore, I am a heavenly citizen. I have the same entitlements as up in heaven. So I speak that also.
Okay, so that, I mean, that's absolutely great advice. I believe that totally, but I want to switch us up on a little bit of a narrative.
Okay.
Let's check out this video and we'll come back to this conversation.
I love watching paycheck breakdowns. So, I got paid on Friday. Let me tell you guys how much money I made. And please, not too much. I get paid every 2 weeks. I know it's not a lot, okay? Yeah, on this upcoming period, I only worked, it's like about like 38 hours a week. I got paid $1,144.85. Y'all, that's every 2 weeks, y'all. Fuck. First, I gotta pay my car note is $973.84. That's leaving me with 171 with 1 cent. Fuck. Now, y'all, I have a Jeep, and Jeeps be giving people problems and stuff, right? So my car warranty a month is 154.04. So I have to pay that. So that leaves me with $16.97. Y'all, damn, fuck. I can't even buy me a plate of ribs, macaroni. Okay, y'all, I told you guys I've been doing DoorDash to make it ends meet, right? So on my DoorDash card, I went hard this week. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I made $599.62, right? So boom, I gotta pay for my wisdom tooth, right? I got my wisdom tooth removed, right? And it was $5,000. It was 4 wisdom tooth, $5,000, right? The insurance only covered $3,000, so I had to pay $2,000 out of pocket. So I paid $62 a month. It's been like a year. I'm almost done, like a little bit, just a little bit. So that leaves me with $537.62. Y'all, now it's gas, and I have to put money away for gas every 2 weeks. So basically, it's $130. Every week is $65 in gas. That's a lot, but goddamn, I should have got me a Toyota. Ugh. And next is my credit card, y'all. My balance is literally $900. Like, I maxed that shit out. So I just pay the minimum of $40 so I can't afford to pay the rest. So that leaves me with $407.62. That's kind of crazy, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. And I gotta pay my afterpay. And y'all, afterpay, I made a mistake. I started buying shit on afterpay. But this pay period I only have to pay $13.37 on afterpay. It was on Fashion Nova, and I only bought like one thing. But then, y'all, affirm, y'all. I literally pay $52 a month plus, y'all. After I pay my credit card, whatever, right? That leaves the balance to $367.62, right? Boom. Okay, cool. Now I gotta pay afterpay. I bought something on Fashion Nova. I only bought one thing, and that leaves me with $354.25. Then I have Affirm, which is I pay $56.03. So that leaves me with $298 with 22 cents. Now, y'all, I fucked up.
Now, she really went through line by line of what she did. She admitted to some of the things that she did, but we're going to start winding this down. But we're going to center our final thoughts around this young lady's video. And my question to each one of you is, how would you tell this young lady how to change her budget? I'm going to start with you, Yolanda, and then please tell us where we can find you.
Yes. So I'm looking at this young lady. She said that her car note was $900, but yet she owed $900 to a credit card that she only paid $40 on. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So I would tell her that her priorities are out of line. Okay. Mm-hmm. If you have a $900 car note, to me, I'm assuming that she has a luxury vehicle. Mm-hmm. All right. I would tell this baby to first get a little beater, okay? Something that you can just a car that a $5,000 car, okay? Something that you just pay off completely and work your way up to having a luxury vehicle. That will come later in life. You don't need that at that age. You know what I'm saying? That age should be spent building yourself up. And I didn't even hear her say that she invested in anything, not a 401k, stock market, Roth IRA, anything. I would tell her that right there is her ticket to wealth. Okay. Setting yourself up while you're so young. Put your money away and let your money work for you. Because she is working for her money. No, baby. Your money should work for you. Please. Anyway, Yolanda Spivey, insurance professional, insurance extraordinaire. Okay. You can reach me at mwhitney.com. I can insure anything that you need, even your pinky toe. So give me a call. I got you. We're big on life right now. So if you need life insurance, please give us a call. Reach out to my assistant, Jello, at life@mwhitney.com, and we will hook you up. Give us a call. Thanks.
And that's something you should put into your budgets. That very, very important thing that you don't know what's coming at you. So you need to make sure that you hook up with Yolanda so that you can get yourself settled with that as well. Minister Connie, what would be your advice to this young lady, and where can we find you?
My advice to this young lady would be, why would you have a 900 and something dollar car? You must live at home. Her parents should have talked her out of that. Her
Yep.
payments shouldn't have been no more than $250, $300 for a very cheap car. She's trying to show off a car. And the first thing I would have told her was, get some life insurance. Life insurance, but I like IULs because you could put your money in it and borrow back off of, even though you could do it on insurance. But in my policies, I've been paying it for years. I borrowed $40,000 to buy a property that now I'm getting like 1,700 and something a month for rent. So, but I had to pay more for the property. But yeah, invest, save your money. Like I said in my book, Lord, I Hear You, get it? It also have a journal on it with it. You should definitely pay yourself, but like I said, tithe, sow, save, and then spend. And the spending is your bills, all your bills, no matter what they are. So, and also for those that about life insurance, I know I'm talking about somebody else's product, but it's okay. I really love insurance because it really helps. A lot of people don't have insurance. You could buy term, and so that you can have something to cover you in case something happens. So I just love insurance, but I invest in insurance. I pay quite a bit into my policies so that I could borrow anytime I need money. So that's another great way of saving. I would tell her not to spend all her money. Learn how to get some books, spend money on some books for education, to learn
Mhm.
how to invest, learn how just grab everything. That's how I learned. I grabbed everything on finance, real estate, and that's how I started learning. And the more I learned, the more I wanted to learn. So I
The
have a whole
education
library.
part, the
Yeah, I have a
education
whole
part.
library on investments, savings, all that. Automatic payments to yourself. I have money that automatically go into my accounts. You don't even have to touch it. Do things like that. But you can find me at ConnieSpearman.com.
Make sure that you reach out to Connie, because Minister Connie got a lot of things for you, and her book is good, and she has
Yes.
a lot of good tips for you there as well, life tips, and that's what we need.
Hmm.
Micah, I'm sorry to keep us kind of short, but if you can kind of keep us at around 45 seconds on what your advice would be, and to also where we can find you, I would appreciate that. Can't hear you.
Absolutely. So her car is her largest liability right now. She needs to turn it into an asset. So she is using it to do the wrong thing, which is DoorDash. She needs to be seeing who she can take that car to get wrapped so she could get paid for advertising it, right? She needs to see if she can rent it on Turo so she could get paid for that. She needs to see if that car can be in movies because people will pay her to use it for the day. So she's too beautiful and too smart to be stuck like that. She just needs to think better.
I love
Also,
that.
lastly, you can find me at www.herpayday.com, where you can learn AI for marketing, digital marketing, and also product development.
Baby, I'm a student. All right. So you need to make sure that you go and check out Micah because listen, you worried about your money, but baby, there are ways to grow your money and she's got plenty in that school. So please make sure you do that. Mary, may I please have what your advice would be to this young lady and where we can find you briefly, please?
Well, we all can agree that she don't need to be paying $973 for a car, so that's to be made. But she seems like a young girl, so I would say she should invest her spare time, not necessarily in DoorDash because that's just another job, and so she's still trading. I don't like that for her, but I think if she created either a real business that she could really be invested in, when she was selling some original product or a service, or going to get the knowledge and education so she can sell service at a high level, which is what I did, right? I'm an attorney. I get to bill at, my hourly rate, so which affords me a nice lifestyle and ability to create a business and help other people create their own businesses, which is what I do at thewallstreetlawyer.com. You can find me online at The Wall Street Lawyer on social media. You can also support my mission and my movement, blackwallstreet.com. Because Black wealth is critical to Black power.
It definitely is. Please make sure that you go and pick up all of that she's putting down because listen, we have all great advice for you. You got to start somewhere. Sometimes you need to understand that your eyes may be a little bit bigger than your wallet and you need to learn to put that in place. So my advice to this young lady would be your priorities in your bills are actually upside down. You do not need that $900 car. There are many other cute little cars that you could tootle around town in. If that car is not bringing you in any money, it's definitely draining your wallet. Not only is that car draining you for the insurance that you pay and the gas that you pay, that is much more than $900 a month. Your priorities need to be put into place. And that's easy to do when you have a wonderful budget, which I have. I have a beautiful budget thing. And I'm very proud that I put it together. You can get it for free on my website at laurakey.net. It will help you walk through what your income is coming in and what debt is going out. We'll also give you tips on how to budget better for your life so that these things that we've been talking about today will not be so much of a stressor for you. So listen, I want to take the time to say thank you to all the family who is here today. I don't really have a lot of time to mention everyone, but just know that we know who you are because you're here every day. And we appreciate you so very much for being a part of this family. We love you and we always wish you the best. But at the end of the day, most people are not bad with money. The math is simply not mathing anymore. Expenses have gone up. Wages have not. And people are carrying financial stress that previous generations didn't really face. But information, community, and strategy really matter. So when we understand the system, we can outsmart it. We can support one another. We can rise together. And this is why we're doing Blackout Fridays. Go find you someone in your community who's raising their business, right? Thank you to our powerful panel for being here today in another honest and much needed conversation. We will see you Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. You guys be blessed and have a beautiful weekend. Peace out.
Peace. Money